Hello everybody, Andy here from Glass Half Dead, the #1 kill team channel on YouTube, unless of course you're aware of any other channel on YouTube. Hi everybody, so today I'm going to do a review of Dead Silence kill team here. I'm going to take a look at all of the models, going to talk about a few of the pros and cons of the different hobby aspects mainly, and also give my overall thoughts of the teams and a very quick overview of them. But of course, if you do want to see actual kind of proper full man reads books of the entire book for the two teams, I've also released those at the same time as this. Right, I'm also going to have a very brief look at the narrative and the extra things you get in this, because this is the first kill team box that we've had where there is no terrain. Every single other box we have had since 2021 has always come with additional plastic. So on the benefit, let's talk about the cost. Normally, these boxes go for like 80 to 90 quid. This is 67.50, which I believe is the same price as the starter set. Something to keep in mind that we are having to pay a little bit less for less additional plastic. And instead we get some paper sheets. That's cool. Right, let's start with the fun stuff, which is, of course, the plastic. So let's start with the Space Wolves, because there's something you need to know for both teams, actually. Which is that they don't have enough models to build everything. So you have to decide what to do. And the good news with the Space Wolves is that actually, if you have, there are two things you can do. You could either, like me, happen to randomly have some Phobos lying around, which I did, and then the bodies just work. I used additional bodies. You can't actually tell which of these are additional bodies. The leader, the Fang Pack leader, there you go. That is actually just a normal Phobos body. And it fits in perfectly with every other body I've got there. You wouldn't know, because ultimately the core of these is a Phobos body. Nice. So, and then you just, all of the arms work with every other body on there. You don't have to have the arms stuck on a specific body. So if you're happy to magnetize, you can just do this without any problem. I didn't want to magnetize, and I had the Phobos sprue lying around. The other thing to note, just because I know this will come up, is that, as you can tell, I've used Phobos heads on all of these because I fancied it. However, please keep in mind that these actually came from the same Phobos box as the bodies there that I happen to have lying around, and the actual Space Wolves squad does not have any helmeted options at all. You only get the ones that you've already seen on Warcom, which are, you know, the standard Viking style crazy hair and beards for the Space Wolves, which I do think are super cool, to be clear, but they just weren't something I wanted with my teams, because flesh doesn't look good with my particular bone color armor scheme. Nice. We then get over to these bad boys. Now, there's an issue with this team. So first, where's the guy? Here you go. Here's the one actually fully painted. So this whole team is super cool looking. I really like them. I put them on my own little towel-based bases. You have an option. So you have 5 models, but there are 7 operatives. Is that right? No, there's 6 operatives. So you have, and the standard warrior, which is called an infiltrator, is easily one that you just don't have to build. And this guy here is another one. I don't know what he's called. The only thing that denotes him from a normal infiltrator is he's got these little bits on top. I think you can easily just say, yeah, this guy's the normal guy, if it turns out that you need to have a normal guy, right? He's your designator. Thank you. I'm thanking myself, to be clear. Thank you, me. All of these look really nice. Cool. I'm a big fan of these. There is, however, a problem. So you don't have to worry so much about which model to build here. What you have to worry about is that every model can have... Hi, everybody, sliding in here to quickly correct something that I've said live, which was incorrect. And it was incorrect enough, I felt I had to change it. Just so you're aware, what I'm saying behind me is that for the Tau team, you can take 5 fusion blasters, but you only get 2 in the box. That is incorrect. You can only possibly take 2 fusion blasters in your team. And the question that you have to come up with an answer to is, which of the 2 models do you put the fusion blasters on? And you could magnetize, so that you can swap them between games. But the fact is, the way this team will work, doesn't matter which team they're going into, you want the Fusion Blasters on the same 2 operatives in every single game, because those 2 operatives are the ones that you want to do the fusion blasting. The only question you might have is, if you're not going into elites, do you want to take the Fusion Blasters? The answer is always yes. Even into hordes, you do want Fusion Blasters, because you already have 3 burst cannons, which will do what you want to do into everything else. Cool. Oh, and this thing is a homing beacon. There you go. Which is carried by the Lodestar, who's hilariously named because, of course, he has a big load. But note that this is in the building instructions. It says put this on a 25mm, on a 28mm base, but in the game it is just a standard 20mm token. Just throwing it out there, which is why I was super surprised that they didn't by default put it on a 25mm base in the instructions. But yeah, so there you go. It has no effect as a model. It's just a token. Lovely. I will very quickly transfer these over to here and show you the extra paper, because normally this would be extra plastic. We will have a quick look at the back of the book so that you can see what's actually happening here. This is a little campaign log. This will obviously make more sense once you've fully read the narrative rules, some notes, some camps, etc. All good. And it's just, I haven't counted how many pages, but 20 maybe, something like that. And then this is basically the same thing, but this is your campaign grid hex map. These aren't all the same. I think there's 6 different iterations of map, and it looks like you get 2 of each maybe. So there you go, just a bunch of paper. This is just standard printer paper. There's nothing like, designed to be written on and thrown away. These and this have full color versions. They're still black and white. They're still two-tone in the core book. Okay, so these are just fun extras for people that want to use it that way and don't want to have to photocopy their own. Cool. But there's nothing special about these at all, and they do come in here. Lovely. Oh wait, I need to move my models off, don't I? So keep that in mind. If I'm honest, this is fine, I guess. I like having more ways to play, but if you would have said these add £2.50 to the price, I'd have probably said don't bother. I'd have said I want these in here as something I can, copy off, photocopy off, but I don't want to pay for them. There you go. Now, before we open this, I do want to have a very quick note about, what am I saying here? Quality. And so obviously, basically here, I've got the Blood Bowl rulebook for Season 3, which I recently did an unboxing for last week, 2 weeks ago. I don't know. And as I was flicking through this book, right, and there's no difference between this and the core rulebook for Kill Team. Right, I was flicking through and I kept trying to double separate the pages because the pages are so thick and glossy and lovely. It's a great quality book. They really spent the extra bit of money to make this a product that will last, and I really like that. But it occurred to me that when it comes to Kill Team, I don't do that, right? As I'm flicking through, I don't try to double separate the pages. And it's just a note of how Kill Team and GW, I mean, not so much Kill Team, if they sell you a product that isn't going to last very long, then you have to kind of accept that maybe the game isn't built to last very long. Not the game of Kill Team, but I mean, this product. It's almost like they're saying, hey, we know this isn't high quality. We know you're going to pick it up and throw it away. That's a little bit of a downer, I think. If you don't spend the money to show something as physically a quality product as the Blood Bowl book is, then it's like, yeah, I don't know. I get that this is a more disposable item, but I'm just saying that's kind of, in a way, a little bit sad. Right, so now we're going to have a quick flick through the whole book, and I'm going to talk about my overview thoughts of how I think the teams are going to really perform. And that's kind of the review going to be done. So, of course, before we get into that, I would like to give a subscriber-only benefit, and that is a big double hello. Wow, so wholesome, truly the wholesomest note abounds in the world of glass half dead. Hey, if you like what I do here, do consider checking out my affiliate links. If you want to buy Dead Silence or anything else, you can buy it through those, and it gives me a little kickback. It's a great way of supporting your favorite content creators. And I also sell a little bit of Kill Team goodies where you get money off if you use my code. So first things first, they've done something here that they probably have done before, but I only just noticed here because I like Marines and I like Tau, so I had to flick through the book. All of this is full color. We got full color, yeah. And then they go back to black and white. So in case you don't remember, that is also color, as is that, because they both get one piece of color art. I'm trying to find it. It looks great. This isn't a negative. Here we go. So this here, let me get it out of the glare for you. It's a black and white piece of work, and they've got a little bit of red or orange, I don't know. And it's just, I think this, honestly, looks just as good, if not better, as a full color piece of art. I think this looks really good, and I really like it. There you go. That's all I wanted to say. I don't take that as a negative at all. Absolutely bizarre thing. I've got this damaged piece. Oh, you can't see it, but just a random page in the middle of the book, almost torn through on both sides. Really weird. And then you get the Tau version of that. I like it. I like it. There you go. I never had an issue when the new edition came out, and when I went to the kind of the open day for creators, and they said, "Oh, we've gone to full colored art for the rule books now because as the Kill Team game is having more resources put into it, more budget, so we're going full color art." That's awesome. But I'm like, I like the stylized art just as much, if not more, as full color. I love full color, of course. Like 40k is a questionable game at all times, but the art is always beautiful, you know. So let's talk about the Stealth Battlesuits Kill Team. So I've already mentioned, of course, the hobby issues. You have to do some weird stuff there. In general, I think this Kill Team is going to pop in as being... I think they're going to really enjoy fighting Marines. They are elite killers. I don't think they're going to have a particularly good time into Hordes. I think they have an okay time into mid-teams. But into Marines, they're going to be having a pretty good time because you run them all with fusion blasters and you're going to absolutely smash face. However, they're not a simple team, and a few of their different rules, they're a team that want to work completely together and do everything together and stay huddled up. Their rules will reward you for huddling up in a big group of the 7 models, right? But then they have some rules that are like, no, you need to be further away from others, and then if you're just in a big group, surely you're just going to get charged. And yes, you have ways to avoid charge. Your whole thing, of course, sorry, I should probably tell you the main faction rule so you get a bit of their flavor, is stealth fields. You are not visible unless the enemy is within 3 inches of you. So it's not that you're obscured, it's not that you have super conceal, you are not visible. So that's massive. You cannot be targeted at all by anything. And then when the enemy is within 3 inches of your territory, within your territory, or within 3 inches of your zone, drop zone, you get accurate 1, 2, or 3. And so that means even though you're a team that hits on 4s, you don't care because you're retaining 3 dice, which again, but to retain 3 dice, you have to be back in your drop zone, basically. And how often is the enemy getting to within 3 of your drop zone? Nobody. So like within 3 of your drop zone is crazy. The enemy will never be there. So at best, you're an accurate 2 at best. Which is fine. That's okay. Super cool models, obviously. I just don't know where these guys are really going to sit after people have figured out how they play and all that stuff. I think they're going to be a bit middling. And their problem is so they're an elite team, but they're also a little bit complicated in the sense that they're quite fragile and they are very, very command point hungry. And if you don't have the command points to do what they need to do, you're just in the open and you're going to get shot, right? But in case sorry, I should also say, just, you know, as a bit of flavor, you already saw it, but your default data sheet is APL 3, move 6, save 3, 12 wounds. There you go. Cool. But then we get the Wolf Scout Kill Team. Now, the Wolf Scout Kill Team is way more my speed. This is 100% a melee team, and you can charge from conceal, and you can absolutely smash. And this is a really good, for me, intuitive, let's be honest, easy team to play. I think it would be very hard to play these guys wrong. Their one limitation is called the Storm. So you can call the Storm. You're obviously a Starties, so shoot twice, fight twice. But you can, if you're in the Storm, which we'll mention in a moment, you can actually flip your order. So you can do all your guys, play it really safe, and then when you go to counteract, flip the order. Of course, you've also got to keep in mind that these days we are a very elite-heavy game, which means as a 6-model team, you're not guaranteed to get counteracts. So it's nice that you have a little benefit for counteracts, but when are you counteracting? We then get Elemental Storms. This is their big thing that all of their ploys basically proc off. In the same way that for Raveners and Tyranids, all of their ploys proc off the tunnel. And for Canoptech, it's all off the node matrix. For this, it's all about the Storm. Luckily, though, the Storm is super easy to use. It's a 20 mil token. One of these bad boys right here. There you go. That's your 20 mil Storm token. And within 6 inches of this, which is like that big, so you've got 6 inches that side, 6 inches that side, and then that which is 20 mil, an inch is 25 mil. So you basically have a 13-inch radius circle on the board at all times where you can use your ploys and you can do extra things because you are stood in that Storm. It's very simple, and there you go. That's it. Oh, and of course, it's being in or having been within the Storm that allows you to charge for Conceal. You don't just get to do things natively. You have to be within the Storm, but it's such a large circle. And the beauty of the Storm is that there's no restrictions. Just as a strategic gambit, you place the Storm marker. Anywhere on the board, doesn't matter. It's not like only in your half, in which case it would be a relatively defensive melee team. No, you just put it anywhere you want. If you have your plan and it's super obvious, you just put your Storm marker right over there, covering the enemy team. You say, I'm going there. Nice. What's really interesting, guys, you've got a model. I would say the Frost Eye is going to get nerfed. I think that's mandatory. Even if he's not too strong, to be clear, he can guard on Volcus, and he can remove obscurity, but his big thing is that he can actually go on guard from Conceal, and his weapons are silent. So what that means is that he can basically just find a vantage point and never ever be touched. And I don't think that's in line with Kill Team's philosophy on how the game should be played and be interactive. Even if he was just like a 1-2 damage weapon that hits on 4s, it would still be like, yeah, he's not overpowered, but he shouldn't act in that manner. That's not what Kill Team is about. So I believe that I have to believe from everything that Kill Team has shown us so far that this model will get nerfed. There you go. There you go. And again, when building these guys, all the arms can be swapped. So don't think just because the Frost Eye and the pack leader are the ones that share a model, you have to build one or the other. No, if you decide you want the Frost Eye and the pack leader, well, you don't need to build a hunter. You don't really need the trap master. So just put their arms on one of them. That's exactly what I did with mine. So you're good to go. And also, just when you're flicking through these guys, really important to note is that their combat blades, which are very, very good, you'll always take frost weapons. So they're actually all lethal 5 as well. There you go. That's kind of the two teams sorted there. I think that this team, the Wolf Scouts, are going to be everywhere. I think people are going to really like these. They're very strong. I think, I don't want to say they're too strong, but they may well be too strong. Look, the Stealthsuits might be too strong as well, but they're not obvious how to play. For me, who is a dumb bee, okay? I would have to learn how line of sight works and learn how to shoot, and I don't do that. I charge. I no brain charge every game. Done. However, you get so many benefits when you do that. This is exclusively a fighting. So you'll get balance because you're in the storm. You will also, whenever an enemy operative is within the storm, and don't forget, you get to place your storm marker. So you can make sure they are. You subtract 1 for the attack stat of the enemy melee weapons to a minimum of 3. So those Marines coming at you with 5 dice or 4 dice, nope, 3 or 4. That changes the math so much. You also have Savage Fighters, which allows you to reconsider how you should be fighting in Kill Team. So this is if you're still alive at the end of your fight action, or retaliation. So the enemy has to really think, like, I have to kill this guy. If you weren't killed, just at the end, you just do D3 plus 1 damage to the enemy. Just, you pop them. Great. And then, so they're going to be minus an attack dice. They're going to take an additional hit at the end of the fight. You will have balanced, of course. You have something which was, yes, talismanic prophecies, trophies. Sorry, I said prophecies twice. How weird. Which is the first hit in melee is just minus 1 damage. So they're coming in. They get that big crit on with the 5 crit with the chainsword. No, it's 4. Done. So good, just across the board. They think they're going to smash you. No, you're minus damage. You're minus attack dice. Yeah. This is an obviously good team, is how I would phrase it. There you go. I'm not saying they're not necessarily going to dominate the entire game, but you will see them everywhere because they're Marines and people love Marines. Cool. All right. Also, they're a 6 model team because you have to take the wolf. But I would also probably say that really they're a 5.5 model team because that wolf is not worth a Marine. I would rather take one of the normal hunter Marines from that team than the wolf, 100%. The wolf is fine, but he's not a Marine. But he is mandatory. Very, very quickly here, I'm just kind of showing it to you. So that's the expedition campaign log that you get the thing of. We have a campaign map. And this is them giving you kind of a way that you can play a campaign using kill teams. So you get a campaign round. You've got the movement phase, which, as you might imagine, is moving around the campaign map. Battle phase, which is where you then pick the place that you're going to fight. The action phase, you can do certain actions which will increase your supply values, which is to do with the campaign. Cool. And you have the threat phase. I've got no idea what that is. It's also telling you how to do the solo co-op campaign, because of course anytime we talk about co-op or narrative or anything in Kill Team, it can be solo. You can always play anything solo in Kill Team. They've given you official rules. They said yes, you can do this. You should 100% do it. I think there's no issues at all with playing solo. I think it's really cool. And then all of your hexes can have random things applied to them. These will be things, well, obviously the most boring one is just nothing, no change. But you can also get, there's 3, 4, 5. There's 15 different, what should we call them? Effects for open, and there's 15 different effects for close quarters. So obviously for me that would be Volcus and Tomb World, but you don't have to use Volcus terrain and Tomb World terrain, right? So like for example, you might have, here we go. So you can search, roll 1d3 on a 1, nothing happens. On a 2, move your kill team to a different surface hex. On a 3, move your kill team to a tomb hex. And then you can get a campaign point. That's all campaign stuff. They do have things that affect in the game. So let's find one of those. I can't. All right, let's move on. Who cares? But anyway, these are all the different things you can find. Isn't that fun? There you go. Oh, surface conditions. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. So there you go. You can see. You can see. That's all fine. It's nice. I like these. I like that they're giving us ways to play narrative games. These are then the things. Threat levels a thing as well. That was in there. Nice. If you can't tell, I haven't actually played the campaign. I have not had time. I've barely managed to get these things painted. Been a touch preoccupied, unfortunately, so this hasn't been the most elaborate playthrough session I've been able to do before compiling my thoughts for you. But I hope that you've enjoyed this quick little look through. And you know, the main key here was to just give you an overview and hopefully try to give the summary than the in-depth guys. The in-depth guys for the man reads book, so that you can make up your own mind as I tell you the words and then give my very brief thoughts. For the Wolf Scouts and Battlesuits are also on this channel. Go check those out. If you made it to the end of the video, I'd like to give you a big triple hello. Wow, so wholesome. Truly the wholesomeness knows no bounds in the world of Glass Half Dead. That triple hello is a present from me to you. Thank you very much for watching till the end. Cool. Well, I like these. You will definitely see me playing the Wolf Scouts. Probably not the stealth suits. I think they're not really my play style, to be honest. And although I love Tau, if the mechanics of the team don't gel with the way I like to play, I'm not going to play. All right, thanks very much, everybody. Have a good one. I will see you soon. Bye.